Wellness, purpose, abundance. 3 words that can feel so far out of reach, like you're window shopping, and it looks beautiful, but you can only dream of it being a reality in your life. Well, the truth is that currently it is out of reach. The belief that it will always be out of reach is something that I am passionate about putting a stop to. I'm on a mission to awaken, inspire, and empower all of us ordinary people to pursue a life of wellness, purpose, and abundance. I believe in Ephesians 3:20 that God has an abundant life for us. Join me in conversations about self-coaching, my go-to tools, and real life. I'm Brenna Stanford, and this is Essentially Empowered. Hi guys, welcome to Essentially Empowered. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. If you're listening to this show, then guess what? You are amazing. I am so thankful to be kicking off the show with you, you fabulous person. So we're going to be having conversations about all things wellness, purpose, and abundance. You guys, these words cross many topics and applications. So make sure if there's something specific that you would love to discuss, leave us a comment or jump in our community group at Facebook. At facebook.com/groups/essentiallyempowered1. That is facebook.com/groups/essentiallyempowered and the number 1. So I'm passionate about breaking chains and tearing down strongholds in Jesus' name. Application is key. If you know something, that's only half. You have to be able to apply what you know. So have you ever read a self-help book and then just wondered like, okay, where's the actual help? I know that my life needs to be balanced in this way or that. This shouldn't be a self-help book. This should be an educational book because I don't know how to do it, right? So I have felt that way about a lot of books. And if you hear knocking in the background, that's my baby knocking on my door. She may go away, she may not. So we'll see. I'm a mom of 4. By the way, actually 3.5. My 4th will be here in a couple of months. So that's just real life. I said we're going to talk real life, you guys, wellness, purpose, abundance, and all the things. So I have felt that way about self-help. Really should have been an educational book, not an actual self-help book. I felt that way about a lot of books or free classes or online this or trainings on that or tutorials on this or whatever other material. I promise to do my best not to leave you hanging, okay? And you guys, I have notes. So any paper rustling you hear, if you're listening podcast or if you see me looking down, if you're hanging out with me on YouTube, it's because I have notes, because I've taken the time to prepare this for you. And I know me and I know I can rabbit trail, and I don't want to waste your time because your time is valuable. So in this show, we will drop weekly, right? We're going to drop weekly episodes on YouTube and on the podcast. And I promise to try to keep them around 20 minutes. I can see a little timer up top. So I'm going to do my best to keep it around that 20-minute marker for you. Again, your time is valuable. But I must admit, I'm a blue-red, wind-fire, connectedness woman with a background in ministry. Basically, I can talk a lot. So I can't promise they're always going to be 20 minutes on the dot. And especially if I get super fired up about something, I just can't always promise that. But I'm going to do my best. So one thing that you're going to hear me say a lot is ULA. And I want to jump right in with ULA. And I want to teach you because this was something that was so amazing for me. ULA is a book that I stumbled upon in a sort of way. And this book is a lifestyle turned world mission, or it's a book turned lifestyle world mission. You can find ULA on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not sure if they have Twitter or Snapchat or any of those other social medias, but I know that they definitely got Instagram and Facebook. So you can find ULA there and check them out. They're pretty awesome. And by the way, just real quick, I'm not affiliated with them. Like, there's no affiliation, income or anything like that. I just really love ULA and how they teach, and I think everybody should know about it. And so I really love ULA, and I really love you, and I want you to know ULA. So there you go. ULA, Finding Balance in an Unbalanced World. This was the first self-help book outside of the Bible that I read that actually gave me the how-to tools instead of just saying, this is what you need. You need to live a life of balance. And so ULA is based off of, it comes, like the word ULA comes from that ooh la la life. And there's this whole story that's in the beginning of their books. So any of their stuff you buy, you can get their story, and I'm sure that it's on social media. They do a lot of Facebook Lives and stuff like that. But basically, these guys were getting together once a year, and they were planning out each year of their life, and they were focusing in on 7 key areas of life. And they have termed these, or deemed these, the 7 F's of ULA. So there's ULA Fitness, ULA Family, ULA Finance, ULA Field, which is your career, ULA Faith, ULA Fun, and ULA Friends. And the idea is, if your life is balanced in all of these areas, then you can have a growing, balanced, unstressful life. It's ULA. It's reaching that ooh la la life. That's where the word ULA comes from, ooh la la. And so wanting to reach that ooh la la life. There are ULA blockers like guilt, fear, laziness, self-sabotage. I know I'm not naming them all, but there's ULA blockers that we all have and we can fall into. And then there's ULA accelerators that we can all have access to, like love, gratitude, purpose. Lack of focus is one of the blockers. So then having focus is the opposite of that. And I absolutely love it. And so there's 3 steps to ULA. There's the ULA will, the ULA path, and the ULA plan, and then the ULA path. I think I have those 2 in the right order. But your ULA will is basically, they use the analogy of GPS. So I love this analogy, and I loved how they used it in the book. They use the analogy of a GPS. So when you go onto your phone and you're typing in that you want to get to where, I'm going to say Galveston. My dad is on a cruise right now, and they left out of Galveston, so that's just kind of in the front of my mind. So if you want to get to Galveston, Texas, and leave out on a Carnival cruise and just have a great time, you got to be able to get to Galveston, right? So you put in your GPS, Galveston, Texas, and it'll show you that little line. It'll give you a pointer where you are and a pointer where you want to be, and it may give you a couple of different lines of how you can get there. Well, this is ULA and what ULA does. So you don't have to, and please understand this, because there's a lot of self-help material out there that will have you digging far into your past. And I am not saying that your past is insignificant. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that it doesn't trap you. So you have, and you'll find that your ULA blockers and your ULA accelerators will come into play from things you've experienced in your past, and you've lived and you've gone through, and what you've been taught, and belief systems and mindsets. And we're going to cover a whole lot of that sort of stuff in this show, because it's important. But it does not trap you. So when you're looking at that GPS, it doesn't say, well, you've already walked and you've already gone this, or driven this many miles, or been to all of these places. It simply says this is where you are. And that's your ULA will. Your ULA will tells you where you are. It is a measurement system. You can find the ULA will at, I think it's liveula.com or ulalife.com. One of them is theirs, and then one of them isn't. So I still don't remember. I'm going to blame that on pregnancy brain, and we're just going to move on. You can find it on their social medias, or I will get a link put into our show notes that's over in our Facebook community. So You can get an ULA Will. You can do that for free online at their website. But let me tell you this, I love the written one so much more. The one that's in the book, the one that's in the ULA Planner, the one that you can get, like, I love that written one so much more because there's so much more detail to it. And so great thing is, if you want to jump in on that, I actually have a PDF that you can download that I will put in the show notes. I will put a link to that, or a download link, so you can click download, print that, and you can do that for free. I'm not going to charge you for that. I love all of the people in ULA, and so generous and so giving and so helpful in helping us live our ULA life, right? So you can get that ULA Will, and then do it, and you'll see where your measurements. And so the ULA Will is, they describe it like a bicycle wheel. You have your hub, your spokes, and then your wheel. And so your wheel is obviously your life. Your spokes are all the 7 F's of ULA, and then your hub is like what holds you together. And then you have your valve that, puts air in your tire that inflates you. Well, what you're going to do is and the print off will tell you all of this, but I just want to explain it because it's so stinking neat. You will answer the questions, and then you'll rate it, and then you'll put your markers on your spokes, and then you'll connect the line. And your ULA F, that is the highest, that's what inflates you. That's what gives you energy. That's your valve. So you can write that down on the spot where it says valve. Your hub is like what holds you together. For some, it's family. For some, it's a child. For me, it's God and my relationship with Him. And then, so there's, and for some, it's financial stability. For some, there's your valve, or your hub is whatever holds you together. All right. So no judgment. That's your hub. So you write that down. And then you measure out your wheel. And if your wheel is pretty balanced, it'll roll pretty smoothly. If it's unbalanced, it's gonna not roll as smoothly. It's gonna just kind of be bouncing all over the place. Like, imagine if you had a flat tire, right? That would be harder. So I don't think I've never experienced actually riding a bicycle that the spokes are uneven, but you might have, so you might know a better description of what that really feels like. So that's your ULA Will is awesome. It's great. Your ULA plan is goal setting. And so what happens is you go over, and it's 21, 7, and 1. So you set 3 goals for each of the 7 F's of ULA. You narrow those 21 down to 7. It doesn't have to be 1 in each category. You can have 3 in the ULA field category, and 3 in the ULA family, and 1 in the ULA fun. You can have whatever goals you need to narrow it down, and then you will finally decide what your ULA 1 goal is, and that's what you're going to work on. So the one thing, I do want to interject here, the one thing that I wish was in there with the ULA plan and your goal setting. They tell you make SMART goals, and they tell you the acronym for SMART. You can Google it and pretty much find it anywhere, but it's specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time-bound, right? So we have these acronyms and we know what it means, but how do we do it? I was so stuck on this for so long, and then finally I was having a conversation with a friend. She's like, honey, I do that for a living with with our team. That's part of my job description, is to help make sure that everybody in our office has goals set, SMART goals set for their job, so that we can make sure that we're all moving in the right direction. I was like, okay, how on earth do you have them do this? And she said it was real simple. She said, rate yourself on a score, or on a scale of 1 to 10, where you are, and then where you want to be on a 1 to 10 scale. Well, ULA is great because your ULA Will already does that. It gives you where you are, and 10 is the highest number. So then you can rate yourself where you want to be. And so you say, and you write your goal out like a verb first. So if it's run a mile, that's one that's used in the book, an explanation, run a mile. Drink more water, right? Whatever that might be. Pay attention to my family more. Be present. whatever your goal is, write it out, verb first. There's the knocking of a baby again, but she's good, I think. We'll see. Write it out, verb first, and then say, I am a, here's your number that you are currently. I want to be a, your goal number. And then you say by, and you give yourself a date. That's your realistic and your time bound, right? So make sure you're not trying to jump from a 2 to a 10 in 3 months, because that may not happen. Let's be realistic and let's keep it time bound. And then you can journal out some ways. I love to jot down some ways that you can get there, some action steps that you can take, because again, this is all about making sure you actually accomplish it, and action steps are huge in ULA. And so I actually put together a PDF like worksheet to be able to do this. And again, I will share that with you guys because I love you and I want you to be equipped and empowered in all that you do. So I will make sure to link that again with the show notes for this show. This is episode 1. And I'll link all of that. And then your ULA path is your daily action steps. It's taking those and you're saying, today I'm going to do these 3 things. And you have 3 daily action steps. This is not your to-do list, okay? And so ULA, they say grab you a 3x5 note card. That's all you need. Draw you a line down the middle, write your 3 daily action steps on one side, and then you can write out your task or your to-dos or everything else you have to do on the other half of it. But your 3 daily action steps, get those done, right? 3 times 365, do the math at the end of the year. If you do 3 daily action steps every single day, then you are getting them done. And you're getting that much closer to your ULA life. I am in love with the ULA planner. You've heard me mention it. I love the ULA planner. It has all the information. All the information. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. You can check that out on ULA.com. But you guys, some of the other phrases that you're going to hear me talk about is personality descriptions. Like earlier, I said I'm a blue, red, wind, fire, connectedness woman. So personality descriptions are amazing, and knowing your personality is so important. And there's a ton of them out there. Some of my favorites is there's an element test that I did with one of my previous jobs. And I will see if I can get that one for you. I do not know. I know that one is paid. So I don't know how much it cost. Again, I did that with a previous job. So it's not that I paid out of pocket for that. If I can find that information, I will definitely have that in the show notes. But then some of my favorite ones, like I love Jacob Adamo's Full Spectrum Success, the color test. That's the blue-red. So there's blue, red, green, and yellow. And then you have your gems. I forget who did that one. But then there's a ton of them. So you can just really Google personality test and you'll find some. But I will put the link to the color quiz also a PDF form, because again, I like the printed out one better than the one online. So I will get those links into the show notes for you also. So, but why? Why do we need to know our personalities? Well, basically, self-awareness. You guys, self-awareness is key to being able to move forward. Remember that GPS from ULA? You have to know that you're driving, and you're driving 30 miles an hour or you're driving 60 miles an hour. You're going to get there here at this time or that time. What kind of car are you in? Who's in your car with you? Are you making road stops? Or pit stops? Are you just like zooming and running to whatever you're going to? Or are you taking your time and enjoying the drive? So self-awareness is key. It's also wonderful for helping to understand other people, your husband, your children, your coworkers, your boss, your employees, all of the people in your world. It's really helpful if you can learn the different personality traits and then learn things about them and be able to identify those in people. The world just gets to be a better place when you can do that. It helps people. It takes things that can cause offense and makes it to where it's understood and not oh, this person isn't trying to be rude. They just speak in bullet points. They speak in action, and I don't. So it just really, it helps make the world a better place. So you guys, I just want to tell you, disclaimer, I am not a licensed physician, counselor, coach, anything like that. I just believe that God has given us the power to live our lives and to make choices for our lives. And we're given that. We're given the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So we can do so much on our own with self-coaching. That's one of the huge topics. That's one of the huge categories that we're going to hit on in here because, again, we can learn so much on our own and on our own, let me speak correctly, and then make better choices for ourselves and our families. So I'd love to team up with you. Brainstorming, setting smart ULA goals, and creating the ULA path, that's all so great. And I love doing that. So make sure you get plugged into our community group, and we'll just comment, post, and say, hey, I read this, I want to get hooked up, or send me a message, whatever. I just love help. I love helping. I've gotten to walk through seasons of ULA with some people, and it makes my heart so happy. So I hope you guys are feeling awakened to the possibility that you can have an ULA life. My goal is for us to be awakened, inspired, and empowered, because you know what? You are worthy. You are so worth it. All right? You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Hey friends, thanks so much for chatting with me today. Make sure to subscribe to this show, and I'd love to connect with you. Share this episode and tag me at Brenna Stanford on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. I would love to have you join our community. Be a part of the conversation. Get links and show notes in our Essentially Empowered Facebook group. You can find us at facebook.com/groups/essentially empowered1.